Hi friends, welcome to this lecture on art and culture. And I'm Vinu Krishna, your faculty for art and culture. I have been teaching the subject of art and culture for UPSC CSE aspirants. I have delivered more than 400 video lectures, and as an aspirant myself, I've given 4 prelims, 3 mains, and I've qualified for 1 interview. So we are going to read about the decline of IVC in this particular module. Now, it was a very beautiful civilization. They had an expertise when it comes to town planning. They are exemplary when it comes to the drainage system, when it comes to their seals and pottery. They had very good knowledge of the hydraulic system, the hydraulic engineering, and they had a very flourishing trade and commerce. What happened as to what led to the decline of IVC? That's what we are going to see for the day. The stages of evolution. So what were the stages of evolution? Initially they had this pre-Harappan stage where they were basically nomadic people, not very important. And then later on you had this early Harappan phase. You had this early Harappan phase where there was this development of large villages. You had the development of large villages here. And later on we had mature Harappan phase, which is very, very important, my dear friends, because here is where you have the great cities emerging. What sort of cities? You have the very famous cities like whatever you have read before, Kalibangan, be it Harappa, be it Mohenjo-daro. It was all the mature Harappan phase where you had the elaborate town planning, the urban settlements, and so on. And finally, we are going to read about the late Harappan phase, which is going to be the focus for the lecture for the day, where you are going to witness the decline of IVC. Post-urban phase or the later Harappan phase of IVC is where you had this declining or the waning phase, what we call as the waning phase of IVC appearing. So the Harappan culture, it seems to have flourished until some period. Say for example, you can say that up to this period of 1900 BC, we had a good flourishing phase. But between this 1500 to say around 1300, we had a very declining phase of the Harappan culture. Its remarkable urban phase began to fade away, what we call it as the sub-Indus culture. And later on, the culture became, in the late Harappan phase, it became primarily Chalcolithic. What is Chalcolithic? Chalcolithic is wherein you use copper tools. And remember, the mature phase, they were essentially bronze age. Why do we call that this to be superior? Because understand friends, scientifically bronze is a metal which can be formed only by the suitable alloying process, which means they should have been very well informatic about or possessing the information about the alloying process, which shows that they were well aware with the science and technology. Also they had the resources at hand, which means the metallic resources at hand to make this kind of a metal. So that was a more advanced phase, whereas the Chalcolithic is kind of a deteriorating phase. Not just that, they do not have metal objects which require complicated casting, and very importantly is this particular point where they led to or they had more of a subsistence form of agriculture. They had this they were returning back from the trade and commerce, which was very, very well flourishing. They were returning back to the primary primitive form of agriculture, which is the subsistence agriculture. And not just that, they used black gray burnished ware, and this was produced on a slow wheel. What do you infer from it? The idea is that the Harappan pottery was very, very, very popular. They had this plain pottery, they had this plain pottery, they also had the painted pottery. And both of them were very famous. Both had intricate designs, both had some vegetal patterns formed on it. Now, this kind of intricacy in the designs and this kind of variety, that is the plain and the painted pottery, that was declining. Rather, we find some black gray burnished ware. Not just that, the metrology, yes, that's something that is very important. The metrics or the metrology, which shows that the knowledge of measuring stuff, that also suffered a decline because no object for measuring the length was noticed. Also, some cubical stone weight, which we call it as the sherds, right? So that also was missing in the late Harappan phase. And we also find a decline of the trade and commerce. Generally, what happens is there was this end of the Indus trade with the West Asian centers, and because of which we see considerable reduction in some prominent stones, in some precious stones, in some very important seals. We find a lack of quality in the important or the precious stones that was found, and not just that, the seals, that was also missing, which again shows trade and commerce was in a practically on a decline. All this was very natural. Yes, of course, take a look at point number 15. All this was very natural because most of the late Harappan sites, they were mostly rural settlements. And yes, because of this, we also see something else. Take a look at the figure. We also take a note of something else. That is, there was some sort of foreign intrusion. Students, there was some sort of foreign intrusion. How did we come to know of it? We come to know of it because there were few signs of insecurity and violence. What sort of insecurity? Like we come across some group of new types of axes, new types of weapons. We come across some group of skulls which is huddled at one single place. We also come across some foreign intrusion, some traces of new people, because there was this evidence of grey ware and painted grey ware, which was generally associated with the Vedic people, that have been found in conjunction with, that is the keyword here, it is found in conjunction with some of the traditional pottery of the late Harappan period. So because of the insecurity, because of the new weapons, because of the skulls, because of the new form of pottery, we come to the conclusion that there have been definitely some intrusion. And this is what we call as the Aryans coming into picture. This is what we call as the Aryans coming into picture. The barbarian horse riding people from Iran have finally come into the Harappan sites. But remember, we do not have any archaeological evidence as to any mass scale confrontation. That was not present. Remember, there was no archaeological evidence. This point is very crucial. No archaeological evidence suggesting the mass scale confrontation between the mature Harappans or between the late Harappans and the Aryans. They did not completely overwhelm the Harappan cities. Now, with regard to the timeline, we have to take a note of something. Harappan civilization, yes, of course, the mature phase is somewhere between this, and therefore later afterwards we have the Vedic phase. We had the Vedic phase, which is the invasion of the Aryans, and then we have the later Vedic phase. Now, why is this timeline important? Because this gives you a quick information about how we are going to move forward in the future classes. So we have the Rig Vedic phase, we have the later Vedic phase, which we are going to study in the form of a comparative analysis, right? So that is important. After that, we have the Mahajanapadas, and finally about the Mauryan Empire. And with regard to the main focus, that is the decline of IVC, there are certain reasons, there are certain controversial reasons which were cited by the historians. The major controversy, students, the major controversy was whether it ended suddenly or whether it ended gradually. So what were the major reasons or what were the major controversies? That is what we are going to see right now. The first thing is there was a change in the rainfall pattern which led to some serious flooding in the plains and the cities. There was overutilization of the resources, not just that, which means that there might have been some form of fight which might have happened because of overutilization of resources by one single group and the other group not having any resources. And there was ecological degradation, which is decreasing fertility. Yes, of course, that will lead to more kind of skirmishes. Earthquake theory, that is again very important. It is said that there were some earthquakes which might have led to some sort of subsidence of land, and thereby rivers might have shifted its course of action, and that is why this decline happened, says one more theory. And then natural calamities like recurring floods, and finally we have the very famous AIT, or the Aryan invasion theory, but right now this has been proved to be completely wrong. Yes, let us go forward. Controversy over the Aryan invasion. Therefore, from here onward, we are going to devise our lecture like what is the supporting evidence, how does it go wrong, what is the negating evidence. Supporting evidence says that the dead bodies were found at the Great Path, which suggests that war might have taken place. Now, the negating theory says that no, there is no such war that might have taken place, probably because there is a gap of 250 years. How are you going to justify this gap of 250 years, which was between the decline of IBC and the Aryan invasion? There are no evidences of weapon production and mass burials. That's another evidence. That is the gap, and there is no mass burial, suggesting that Aryan invasion, and there is a considerable gap between this Aryan invasion and the decline of the mature Harappan or the late Harappan. Controversy over the flood theory. Now it is said that Mohenjo-daro and Chandhu-daro, they were flooded 7 and 3 times respectively. There were many supporting evidences, says historians. Whereas some other group of historians say, no, that cannot be correct. Firstly, because of the IVC people have got good knowledge of controlling floods. How did they come to know of it? That is probably because they had fortified. They had properly fortified many of their places. They had constructed some important buildings in the upper part, which we call it as the citadel, right? So because of all this, because of the excessive fortification, they had proper knowledge of controlling floods. Therefore, this is not something new to them. That's their idea. Also, they say that there is no chance of great floods causing so much destruction as to the entire civilization or the whole civilization getting swept out by one single flood. So these are the negating factors in play. The third important thing is the earthquake theory. Now, it is suggested that IVC comes under the earthquake prone zone. But again, the negative or the negating evidence is that no such single earthquake could lead to the destruction of the whole civilization. Further, it is found that some of the structures, when excavated, they were very much intact, which means earthquake, such a devastating earthquake, could not have swept out the entire civilization. So what would be, or what might have been, the probable reason for the decline? The most acceptable, the most acceptable theory is this theory of ecological or the hydrological changes. That is, there was less rainfall due to the deforestation, and because of which the fertility of the soil, that might have also reduced, the agricultural prospects might have reduced. River Saraswati, it is said that, has changed its course because of shortage of water, and there was also this problem of desertification, and because of all this it made the soil less suitable for cultivation, and this is said to be the most acceptable theory. And finally, we have a practice question. This was asked in 2013 prelims. There were three statements. Let us try to analyze it. They possess great palaces and temples. That's absolutely wrong. Why? Because they did not, or they were not great favorites with regard to palaces, nor did they construct large temples. Now take a look at the second statement. They worship both female and male deities, which is absolutely correct. They employed horse-drawn chariots. Now, horse itself is a big question, like very few evidences, or one of the evidences found with regard to the horse bones, and with regard to warfare, it is not anywhere proved that they had a large mass scale confrontation. So here again the third statement is wrong, which means the correct answer is B only. So that's the correct answer. And yes, you can hear more of the lectures pertaining to art and culture with regard to the EduRef platform, which is prepared by UPSC experts. Over 10,000 plus questions, 2,000 plus documents, and there are over 1,000 plus videos, which is curated for you to learn the exams and to crack this particular exam. And from the next lecture, we'll be moving on to the Vedic age. Thank you so much for listening. Have a nice day.